What's up guys and girls, and welcome back. What I have for you today is again a GGMasters Deeprun. This one is not the turbo version. If you haven't watched it before, check my previous video where I had a pretty nice final table run in the turbo version of this tournament. This is the normal version. Again, 2,600 runners. We are still 33 left, so let's jump right into it and review some of the more interesting and more important hands here. Let's go. So we have a pretty good position. We are not a super big stack, but 35 big blinds, you can still work with that. We have 10 minutes blinds, which is really good. And here, already the first interesting hand. I think I want to opt for an open with a limp, which is very weird. I still want to see a raise to 4.5 big blinds here or something like this, maybe just 4, and then reevaluate. Yeah, we're seeing a ISO from the big blind here, and so it turns out well, but yeah, a little too needy in my opinion, just folding. Anyway, check 8 open, definitely an open here. Probably bottom of my range, yeah. And he shoves it in default, which is definitely fine. So pocket fours, just letting it go against under the gun, kind of normal. In this stage of the tournament, 33 left out of almost 3,000 players. We just want to wait for the right spots, kind of put pressure on players that might be too nitty, but don't overplay our hand. Of course, ace-king, just c-betting here, and I think the sizing is fine without any flush draw blocker. Could be still slightly lower. Anyway, again, keeping up the momentum we took and opening king check here, but against the 3-bet, we cannot really continue out of position, in my opinion. That's just a bad play, and we end up folding. Here, just a few hands that I will be folding, very normal. 9-7 defend is fine. You can fold, you can defend. I think a defend is good enough against button, but against most positions I would just fold. Check 4, again, just into the muck, very standard. Let's see. Six deuce, folding this one for sure. We want better connectivity. Like 5-4, I want to open here, yes. Sure, we fold against any shove or raise, but still good enough, and we can play this hand pretty well post-flop, I would say. It's close. I mean, folding isn't a bad thing, but opening also. And here, I just want to put on pressure, because if they just call, if one of these players just calls, we can often barrel some turns like this one. And yeah, I like the shove here because it's like a pot-sized bet. We're putting max pressure on any check, X hand, any other draws. But unfortunately, he just had it. But, I mean, yeah, we didn't get there. So we're kind of down to, I think, less than 10 big blinds. Yeah, 6.2 big blinds, so ace-3 is gonna be a shove here. And the only reason I'm doing the sizing, well, it's kind of my secret sauce, but no, the main reason for this is just make it slightly more complicated for a player to make a quick, correct decision. Sometimes, I mean, in this stack size, it's not difficult to add what my actually all-in sizing is, but just make it more complicated for everyone. And we bink it here against ace-9, getting lucky, doubling up, but still in a very desperate situation with only 12 big blinds and blinds running through us very soon. So we will take almost any opportunity to double up here. Ready to gamble, kind of. I mean, we are taking flips, is what I'm saying, to hopefully double again. But without the right hands, you can't do nothing. Queen 9 could be a jam, but I think it's too loose. Queen 10 probably, Queen 9 suited 100%. But yeah, just fold it here, and we don't need to discuss the check 4. Obviously I fold. This is close. I think from this position it's an okay fold. Chippy V, it might be okay to jam, but I think ICM, I like the fold. We're still okay if the blinds go through us another time. It's not fantastic, obviously, but just good to fold here too. 9 deuce, I think I might consider jamming if it folds to us, but I think it's still too weak. bottom line should be maybe 9-5 suited or something. 3 deuce again, 3 high. We want raw equity hands to jam, not 3 high. 8-3 fold. Just pretty card dead. Pretty unfortunate. Now we're 23rd out of 23. But you cannot force anything, so you have to wait for a hand and then also hope to hold or to double or to dominate or to suck out. But you can't just do it with any random hand. You can do it, but then you can also just gamble at a roulette table, so we don't want to do that. Again, 7-6, not much we can do. Jack 7, not much we can do. Let's see if we get something in the big blind. And yeah, Queen 9 will be a call, probably against button shove, maybe even against the big stack. But we get a limp, and we already marked this player as pretty crazy weird. Not playing great, and we get super lucky, like the dream flop. And given his sizing on the flop, I like my rejam here. He might still be on some draws. We don't want him to fold later on. With his sizing, he's never folding if you put in the last 1.6 big blinds, so we just jam, obviously. And we double and hold against a very weird 6 deuce. Good for us. It's just pretty surprising to see a player getting this far with this playstyle, but yeah, why not? We are happy. Ace 4 is going to be a jam, but with his opening and his super tight stats, I opt for fold. Against some players, it could be an okay rejam, I think, but it's very close. I rather jam 10-8 suited here, pretty happy to get it in. We're hoping to get folds, but quite often if you get a call, we might still have 2 live cards, or maybe even just a flip against an underpair. Yeah, slowly stacking up a little bit again, but still just 12 big blinds, 15 out of 20, so there's no need to try to ladder or something at this stage. Just trying to get a chance to build a stack again, because in a bounty tournament you really want to play. Here the 3 deuce, I could decide to bluff with his line on the turn, because you only have 3 high, but it's also totally fine to just let go of these hands. I mean, we didn't even defend. Queen 9 suited I would have shoved if there wasn't the open, but open and re-raise, it's such an easy fold. Check 5, again, on the button with the big blind, I would probably just have jammed it. But since there were opens before us, we cannot play this hand. And we would have gotten very unlucky with a 2 pair. This is an interesting hand, I remember this one. So, normally it's very debatable. Mr. Rupee is gonna jam here to call, but I think with his bounty and a good chance to flip here, it's close. I'm still not sure if it's correct. It's on the edge, but yeah, unlucky. Run into 7s again, totally dominated. 2 and a 4, and we bink it. So this was obviously one of the biggest spots for us where we got lucky. And yeah, getting a $160 bounty and now having chips. I think the 16 out of 8 is still not updated. I think we are in a better position. Yeah, 12 out of 8, even that is not amazing. On this flop, I don't hate a check back because we get check raised a lot by more inexperienced players and making it a little bit difficult for us. So on a check turn, yeah, bring in the delayed c-bet and it works out. But also normally it's just a c-bet on such a dry 7 deuce 2 board. So I think depends. King 10 suited, obvious defend, even against under the gun. Against later position, we could opt even for a 3-bet, but I don't want to do it here. And this is a good flop for us. We're definitely gonna call most c-bets unless it's a really big one. And yeah, calling here. Not the best turn, but also not the worst. It will slow him down if he has some ace-x. But if he checks here, I mean, oftentimes he shouldn't have an ace, I think. And here I thought about blocking, which wouldn't be terrible. Actually, in retro, I think I might like the 3.4 whatever block bet I decided here. And he goes for the overpot. And I remember this was a really hard decision. And I decided not to do it because he might even turn something in a bluff that still beats us, like some ace-x or some super weak flush hand for some weird reason. And And he has all the flushes here that beat us. And he has a lot of queen X, and that's the main reason I folded here. I think it's definitely a good fold. He has all the queen of heart X here that he plays this way. As well as some super nuts already on the flop or turn. And the queen deuce, we can min raise open, but then we have to call a jam from big blind, which wouldn't be super comfortable, or we can just fold. 4-4. If he wouldn't jam, I would jam it. I think that's definitely fine. Just calling the jam here, that's a different spot than before, because now it's 14 big blinds, 14.5, which is a big difference towards 9. Of course, his range is slightly looser on this position, but I think it's a good fold. We don't need to gamble like crazy, especially against his stats. He's a very tight player, so yeah. Yeah, we are struggling, but we are still there, so pretty happy, of course, with our 4-4 getting lucky against the 7s, but other than that, I think just grinding our way through. And the 10-4, yeah, defending here against late position is definitely fine. It's not a fantastic hand, but yeah. The flop is pretty good. Backdoor flush draw, double gutter, even though the weird donkey straight kind of came in here, but yeah, here I think I made a small mistake because I bet pretty big. I think I want to be less polarized, giving a small chance to bluff, but also more incentive to call his 8x, maybe even the 7x, any queen x. Some, yeah, he doesn't have pocket 10s or 9s here. He should never have that. He can have a speed, of course, with any 9. But we would know. He would raise and we would just have to fold. And I'm blocking the 10-9, which is pretty nice with the 10-4. And again, in these, by the way, it was pretty slow. Like what you're seeing here is like almost 1 hour, like 50 minutes of playing. I just fast forwarded the hands we didn't play. And you need to be patient. And now we're already almost 6 hours in the tournament. That's also where you can build an edge, just being focused, even though you've been playing maybe the whole Sunday or whatever day it is. 6-5 suited here, yeah, we can open, but given all the stacks that have us crushed, we don't really can build much pressure. We have a really juicy bounty, so we will get some looser calls here. And yeah, I like just let it go in the spot. I think that's definitely the right play. Yeah, on this river, by the way, I would probably have jammed as a bluff or whatever, but yeah. And yeah, that's it for the first kind of hour, approaching the final table. Yeah, stay tuned for the next one. I will be doing another fast forward version with only highlighting kind of the interesting hands that I played, and then spoiler alert, because you will already see in the next video, we reach the final table, and then I will go a little bit slower and more into detail. Yeah, let me know how you liked this one. Leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't. Stay tuned for more. Good luck at the tables, and bye bye for now.